sub 15, sub 20 degrees here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, but we're going to heat it up with some technology. And the main heat source today is going to be Chuck Eiton, our marketing manager and technology presenter extraordinaire. Thanks for coming today. We appreciate the efforts. We know you got a lot of stuff you could be doing today, but that you're coming to spend a half hour to talk about Sophos Complete Security. It's awesome. We know that you can choose to put your head in the sand, or you can think proactively. Since you're here today, we believe that is the case. What are we going to accomplish in this 30 minutes? Well, if you've been here in the past, you know we are mostly about technology and less about PowerPoint. To that end, we'll meet productive in 1 minute. Chuck will give you an overview of Sophos Complete Security. We'll take a look at some of the products in the suite, and we will have Q&A throughout. We'll finish it up with software we love. So with that, buckle up. Here we go. Let's meet productive in 1 minute. Who is Productive Corporation? Productive is a security and storage software expert for mid-sized companies. We have dedicated account executives with specialized knowledge, so you don't have to wait on hold or navigate the publisher yourself. We have tons of relevant resources on our website, product descriptions, trial downloads, FAQs, custom quotes. All of it is available at productivecorp.com. We also produce a lot of third-party content for the mid-market. P-guides, 2-minute tech videos, tips and tricks, all of this designed to help you understand what are current IT trends happening in the mid-market. You can find all this at productivecorp.com/content. The bottom line is we have the resources to help you. Help at productivecorp.com, 800-726-4099. We're here to help, and one of the ways we do that is by putting on these educational web events. Our customers have told us, hey, we love to see, what's new, why is this relevant, how do we keep it relevant? To that end, we're going to be launching a Productive Knowledge series that you'll see shortly, where we're going to go even deeper into some of the key points of pains that you and some of your peers may be experiencing, so be on the lookout for that. But first things first, let's talk Sophos. And the man who's going to help you talk, or the man who's going to talk about Sophos, is Chuck Eiton, our marketing manager who loves technology, loves to talk about it, loves to have every gadget in the world going at once. If you come to his office, you know what I mean. And he's going to lay it out for you today. So let's give a warm virtual round of applause to Mr. Chuck Eiton. Chuck?
All right, thank you, Todd. I appreciate the introduction. And I know what most people are probably thinking right off the bat is, wow, we're going to cover a lot of things here in the next 26 minutes or so. So going to be kind of a high-level view of the technology. We want to show the consoles and stuff like that. And I really want to talk about, complete security. This is Sophos's most complete bundle, hence why it's called Complete Security, has a lot of the different components, because everyone knows at this point there's not a magic bullet, You got to be doing a bunch of different things to stay protected, and starts at the gateway, starts at the edge, And Sophos has got a nice UTM that can fit in that space. We're not going to be talking about it today, but upcoming webinars are going to be focused on that UTM product. Today we're going to be talking about pretty much everything else here, The endpoint product, their bread and butter of not just doing AV, but doing a bunch of different things at the endpoint that we'll talk about. Web security, Not just filtering end users, but also protecting them against malware at the web gateway. Same thing at the email gateway of being able to obviously protect against spam, but do things about stripping out bad attachments, encrypting your emails, things like that. An area of conversation that people are talking about more and more every day is mobile, MDM, mobile device management, protecting those smartphones, those tablets, all those different devices out there that need to be protected, There's sensitive data being lost every single day from people losing smartphones, doing not smart things, like not putting a password on your mobile device, right? Things like that Sophos can help with. And encrypting your data at the endpoint level, but then going beyond that, right? Network shares. Are your users using Dropbox, right? Encrypting that data as it's going to the cloud. Just tons of areas there. So that's what we're talking about today, is a kind of a combination between all those different things. And Todd, if you can hand over control, I'll bring up the endpoint console right now so we can take a quick look at the Sophos endpoint console.
I can certainly do that, Chuck.
All right.
The power is yours.
All right. Cool. Can you see the enterprise console?
Absolutely. I saw the dog in the background. Is that the new dog?
That's the dog. Yep. Running full speed.
Oh.
So
And they
what
said
we're
Chuck has no heart.
Exactly. So let's kick this off by saying, right, I'm going to show you 3 different products: the endpoint product, the web appliance, the email appliance. And I'm a marketing guy. I may be a little more technology knowledgeable than some marketing guys, but if a marketing guy can use these things and actually manage them, I do manage the web appliance and the email appliance in our live environment. Pretty sure anyone that is a full-time IT person is going to have no problem with these products. So that's the first thing I really like about them, is super simple to use. You're getting a lot of protection and super simple to use. So a couple things that I like. I like this dashboard up here. And what we're seeing, this is not a dummy console. This is our environment. So I like this dashboard up top. I like that I can just at a glance see what's going on, right? If any of these things start turning red, I know I got issues and I need to investigate. So that's kind of cool. I like that I can configure it right here and set when do I want to be alerted, right? I don't want to be alerted at every little thing that goes wrong, right? Because things are going to happen throughout the day, but I want to be alerted when I'm having maybe a big virus outbreak, or someone's having a lot of potentially unwanted applications, right? PUAs, right? Things that maybe I need to address. I like to see that. I can see here I got 16 machines connected. I got 72 unmanaged machines, right? Reading my entire Active Directory environment. A bunch of different ways you can connect. Most people are doing it through Active Directory, but lots of ways you can do that. You see here, I talked a little bit about encryption. Encryption right here. Full disk encryption's built into this product, so that's pretty cool. I can see all my machines are connected here in green, right? All these gray ones are machines that are not being protected, and I can see at a glance kind of what's going on here. I can click on any machine and see what's happening with that machine. So really cool, right? Windows 7, this Weezer machine is, and I can see what's happening. Where were these application control events? What were we blocking? Right? We have some DLP on, so we're blocking some email lists, sending out some email lists, right? We're blocking that. We're protecting from the web, right? And protecting malware that's happening at the web gateway. So we're doing it at the endpoint level and also the gateway level. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, but you can see been some threats coming through and been blocking those, right? That's how it's good. So I can see all that. Break my machines down here by group, can put them in whatever groups I want. Maybe I want desktop servers, maybe I have by location, right? Whatever you want to do, you can mimic your Active Directory structure, right, and do that. Here are all the features built in. So, right, if you're looking for just basic antivirus and nothing else, I would say you're probably behind the times, and Sophos is probably not the right solution for you. It does the AV extremely well, but you can see that's just one of the components here. And right, 5 layers of scanning a bunch of different ways. So scanning on read, rename on write, right? You click on a file, it's scanning that file. It's also scanning the file through the cloud. So if you have a machine that's maybe off network, right, and it's getting its signature straight from Sophos. Some of the other leading products out there in the market rely exclusively on the cloud for signature updates to the endpoint. Sophos gives you the option. It does it both ways. So there's not just one way of protecting your machines, right? Let's give it multi-layers of of protection there. So being able to do that is cool. I like this right here, the behavior monitor. Basically what that is HIPS, or host-based intrusion prevention. What's cool, why I like it, checkbox to turn on. I'm not trying to figure out a bunch of complex settings to figure out how do I turn on my suspicious behavior, right? Just a simple checkbox will turn that on. So I like that. I like that I can block websites from the endpoint level right here. So what this does is not a replacement for your web filter, which we'll be talking about, but you have a user leave the environment, and maybe they come across CNN.com, right? And legitimate website. Most people are going to have that site open on their web filter, right? Because it's a news site. That website is always getting hammered with malware. At least once a month it's getting hit with malware. And what this would do is it would use the signatures in the Sophos cloud, block that website while it was infected, allow it again when it's all cleaned up. So that's cool. Again, different groups I can build, so I can build as many different policies, right, as you want here. Completely scalable product. Comes with the third-party firewall, so it does come with the Sophos firewall for the endpoint. All right, so this would be a competitor for the Windows firewall that's built into Windows 7, Windows 8, all that. Couple reasons why you'd maybe want to use a Sophos firewall. Location aware, so it knows on network versus off network. So you crank up those security policies when it's off network, and you get reporting, so you can see what's actually happening. A couple key reasons to be using that. This NAC is a feature that comes with it. Network access control, very basic level of NAC. Basically, it installs an agent on your machine and make sure it meets the security policies of that machine before it can connect. Application control, I think this is maybe the coolest feature. This or maybe data control, two coolest features of this product. Simple checkbox to turn on. And now you can start blocking applications at the endpoint level. So let's say things like games, right? Right here, just tons and tons of games by different vendors, right? So I can start blocking whatever games that so maybe I don't want people to play Deer Hunter, which is a great game, right? I can block it here. I can hit OK. It'll push out that policy to those machines, and now they're not able to use that application. Why I like this? Part of the signature updates. So the updates on this product super small, a couple kilobytes in size, average one's about 10, 15 kilobytes in size. We'll also update these applications as new ones come out. A new instant messaging app comes up, block it. I like this all added by Sophos in the future. So any new thing you put on block, it'll automatically block it. So you don't have to continue to go back and look at this list, right? Toolbars. IT people in general are not fans of toolbars. Start blocking them, right? You can set up messaging for the pop-up bubble if you want your end users to have that, to let them know, hey, I'm blocking you on this application. Here's why. You can also set up all kinds of alerting, reporting, right? All that stuff that you would expect has all of that. So I love that feature of this product. I think it's a huge selling point, along with the data control. The conversation comes up a lot of, didn't know I could do DLP on my desktop budget, right? And this will do it. This will do data loss prevention at the endpoint level. So pretty cool how you can do that. You can block things like credit cards, personally identifiable information, really anything you want, and you can set up policies. So you see this one set up where any file that contains 10 or more credit or debit cards that are going to removable storage, optical, floppy, right? Let's block the transfer of that. What I also like about this, we're going to talk a little bit about email, right, and the Sophos email appliance. We'll show the console on that. This will work with that as well. They have the DLP, and you can import policies back and forth. So here, you could block your DLP sensitive information at the endpoint level, and then you could block it through the email gateway as well, so they can't email it out. You could make it where if it triggers a DLP policy, it automatically encrypts that message, right? Lots of different ways, and you can really start talking about How do I protect my data? And that's the key these days, is protecting that data. Here's another way of doing it. And there's not many solutions out there on the endpoint space that allow you to do DLP at the AV, right, price range. Device control, blocking those devices, right? Locking down any devices. A whole list of things you can do. You can even, shut off Bluetooth or infrared on your machines. You can block things. You can exempt certain devices. So maybe you have only thumb drives that you're encrypting with Sophos encryption allowed to access the network. No other drives are allowed to access the network. You can do that with this. Talked about full disk encryption a little bit, right? Being able to encrypt those machines, especially those laptops that are leaving the environment, being able to encrypt those, get some reporting on it, right? It's, a lot of people are looking at BitLocker. Not going to do you a lot of good for compliance if you can't report on it. And if end users are losing passwords, BitLocker is not going to help you there. Now, if you want to use BitLocker, Sophos does have a product that will manage BitLocker, give you that reporting, and give you the ability to use user self-help, things like that. So Sophos can help if you want to use BitLocker, but that's not going to answer your encryption needs. Tamper protection was a feature request a few years ago, so they added it in. Basically, put a password around the agent so end users can't go ahead and disable the agent. Cool feature. Patch, exactly what it sounds like. Being able to look at and assess patches, right? You can set up when you want it to run. Not just scanning for Microsoft patches, though. You're also scanning for third-party patches, so things like Adobe, right? Flash, things like that, Java, being able to scan for missing patches. You're still going to need to remediate them yourself and push them out, but this would be a great way to figure out what's going on in that environment. Right? Maybe you have auto updates on. Maybe you're just using WSUS. Right? This is going to be a great tool to help with that. Web control right here. Like this feature a lot. It's going to segment us into the next product I want to pop up and show. Turn this on, right? Out of the box, comes with these categories. You're able to block threats, right, based on here. The cool thing, what makes this cool, the policy resides on the endpoint agent. So what that means is you have a laptop that's traveling anywhere, right? They're going to be filtered. So you're going to be able to do web filtering now on machines that are leaving the network constantly, or maybe they never come to the network, right? You're able to do that and block, be able to block these at this level. So that's cool. I like that a lot. Some people say, that's cool, but doesn't get me to the next level, doesn't really do everything I need for web filtering. Click this button right here. It's going to generate a password, and now you can do full web filtering at the endpoint level. So what does that mean, actually? Let's hop into the next product I want to talk about, and that is the Sophos Web Appliance. And what I like about this, right? Full market-leading web appliance that will report back into the endpoint agent. So you can do all the web filtering you want to do in your environment, right? Change policies on the fly, tons of categories, all of that stuff, and be able to manage users that are off the network. So been a huge gap for a long time. That's really, really helped. So what we're looking at here is the web filter. And this is actually a physical appliance. You can get it in a virtual appliance as well. But we're running a physical appliance here. And I like the dashboard. I think this product's super simple to use. I like the reporting. It tells me a lot of stuff about who are my bandwidth users, right, who are hammering them. You see Brady's using almost 50% of our bandwidth today, but only 4 megs. So not really anything I concern myself with at this point. I can see who's the policy violators, browse time by user. I think the reporting is a strong feature of this product. I can see a ton of good stuff here, so definitely like that a lot. There's really 2 components to the web filter. There's the blocking websites, right? And then there's the malware, blocking the threats that come through the web. And depending on what report you read, 60 to 80% of all malware is coming through the web. So we need to be able to block it at at the gateway level. And here's how you're doing it. You're blocking it with the same type of technology that's in the endpoint product, but blocking threats at the gateway level. And there's a bunch of different things you can do, like scan HTTPS, so that encrypted traffic, you can scan that. There's some DLP in it, some great things like that. Super easy to use, super easy to build policies. And Todd, if you want, I can show how I would go about building a policy in about, I think I can do it in probably under 2 minutes and talk through a user that, maybe is being naughty and needs to be locked down a little more on the web filter. So you have a user you want to build a policy for, super simple. You just go here, you add a policy, and I can select how do I want to do it. Do I want certain users, right? So I can pick any user. So I could pick, let's pick Christine, right? And make a policy for her.
Lock her down.
Yeah, I could go by username, IP address, range, lots of different ways I can do that, right? I set my default policies when I set them up, and some of them that I know that I did is I allowed blocks and forums. So I want to block her on that, right? I don't want her to go to games, right? And we'll let her look at real estate, right? And definitely block her on shopping.
So it doesn't show, it just shows the default policy, not, so you got to know what that is, or it won't show you that by default it's blocked or whatever.
Right. If you click right here, that would give you what those policies are.
Okay.
So I can show that next. I just don't want to.
Yeah, okay, yep.
Download type, right? If there's anything I don't want that user to use, so like ISO images, right? No use for an average user to use those. Block on that. Any tags that I make, so any predetermined things that I don't want to allow. So, right, we were having an issue with Dropbox users, so we'll block her on Dropbox. What do I want to name the policy since they're being bad? Name it the Richard Sherman policy. And when do I want it to be into effect? All times, specific times, certain dates? What do I want to do? I want to turn this on for the machine connecting anywhere, inside your network, outside the network, right? I talked about it'll work anywhere. Do it that way. Hit save. That policy's done. That person is now being filtered in that way. So super simple to do. Todd, you asked about how do I know what's in my default policy. Right here. Click on that default policy. It'll tell you what's allowed, what's blocked, what you've set that up as.
And you've decided that, so you know that if it's default, it's something you've decided was the standard protocol for blocking.
Kind of how it works for people, right? I manage this appliance, so I know after a while what's blocked and what's not, so I can build it pretty quickly. Spend 2 seconds talking about this. Looks very similar, right? This is the email appliance. We use it here as well. Does a lot of our filtering, right? You can see some of the stats in our environment, right? We've had, since we've had this particular one on, we've had, I think this is rolled over a couple times too. So right now it's showing 500,000 blocked messages, but I think it's actually a lot more than that. I think it's rolled over, right? Lots of viruses we've been blocking, lots of spam, right? Blocking a lot of threats here. So you can configure it for DLP. You can configure it really any way you want, right? It's got your AV, it's got your spam, it's got your DLP, right? Both inbound and outbound for everything. So, right, we can have one here that anyone that wants to look at jobs and send out their resume gets redirected. But this will help stop you from being a bot. If you have any machines compromised and any machine is a bot, this is going to stop that because you're going to scan your inbound, but also your outbound as well. You're able to do a bunch of different things as far as DLP. You can do encryption, so you can do full email encryption through this product. Lots of great things. This is a market-leading email product, and tons of different vendors out there are actually OEMing Sophos out there, including some of the largest ones. So great solution there. Last thing I wanted to talk about real quick, Todd, I don't have a console to show, but MDM, mobile device management, right? Our sales team are talking to people every single day about MDM, And why? You know, we had a stat in one of our other webinars that I believe it was something like 200 and some smartphones are lost every minute in the United States. Big numbers, right? I believe it was 40% of people, just over 40%, have no type of passcode on their data, right? So someone in our organization loses their phone, right? It's going to have all their emails, all their contacts, all that information on it. We want to be able to block that. We want to be able to wipe that device. We want to be able to make sure that they have to have a passcode on that device, right? Lots of things out there that we want to make sure our data is safe. And it's kind of like the encryption conversation, right? Someone loses a laptop or someone loses a smartphone or a tablet. The expensive part is not the device. It's the data on the device. That's what you got to be thinking about, the data on the device. So Sophos has got a whole product for MDM, and would love to show it to anyone that's interested. You know, I went through 3 products here that I typically spend about an hour on each one demoing it. MDM would be another hour demo. So went super quick through this, and if anyone's interested in learning more, you know, your productive account executive will be in touch today with you, and we'd love to show you more. We can help you with the trial, get it up and running in your environment. You know, easy to use, easy to manage. We can help with a proof of concept to make sure the trial's successful. So would definitely like to help with that in any way. So Todd, if there aren't any questions, I'd love to talk about some software that we love.
Absolutely. That's you and I are on the same page here. Yeah, thanks for the, you know, that's a great overview of the Sophos product line. A lot to talk about. One thing I want to know, so the MDM is a separate console. Does that then feed info back in to any of the other management consoles with Sophos, or how is that set up right now?
Yeah, so right now it's its own product. They actually have it 2 different ways. You can either get a console, install it in your environment, or you can buy a cloud solution. So basically it's hosted in the cloud. That was an acquisition, so right, kind of like everyone's getting acquired in that MDM space since it's so hot. Sophos bought that company. Based on what their track record is on buying other products, I got to imagine it's going to get built into, I would imagine it's probably going to get built into the UTM if I was a betting man. That's what I would bet on that. So,
I would stack my bet behind that bet.
Yeah. So software we love. I think, Todd, you and I both love CCleaner. From the end user level, it makes our lives easier, right? Most people on this call are probably familiar with CCleaner at the home level. You know, it's a product that you install that really easy to use and cleans all the crap off my machine. That's actually what the first C in CCleaner stands for, right? Cleans up those temp files, those registry errors, right? Just all the garbage on your machine. I actually ran it not too long ago on my wife's MacBook, and it cleaned up something like 14 or 15 gigs of temporary and junk files, right? And afterwards, she's like, wow, this thing runs way quicker. She was on the mindset that she needed a new $2,000 MacBook, and I was under the mindset of, let's just clean this one up, right? Well, they've taken that technology and brought it to the corporate level. So you got a corporate, centrally managed, reporting, scheduled product that you can run on your machine. Definitely extended the lives of our machines here, right? We were in the mindset of we needed to replace a bunch of machines and gotten a lot more life out of them by making sure we're routinely cleaning up the garbage off those machines. So been great and very easy to show a really nice ROI on that product, just based off of, you know, the price point and what it does, how much time it saves people from having to go machine to machine cleaning the junk off of those machines. So we love it. We'd love to talk to you about it, get a trial in your hands, and see what it does in your environment.
Absolutely. And you can get that full trial from us. So with that, we're finishing right up here, right on the dot. Thanks so much for coming today. And Chuck, thanks for a great presentation. Someone from Productive will be reaching out to you shortly. You're also going to get your nice little gift card for attending today. We really appreciate it. We know you have a lot of options for how you spend your time. So you spend 30 minutes with us, Thanks is all I'm going to say. So for now, I'm Todd Obert along with Chuck Eiton, wishing you a happy day. Keep warm if you're in the northern climates, and hey man, you're doing something right if you're in the warm area. So all right, you guys have a good one. We'll talk soon. Thanks.